I'm a scare actor in a top voted haunted house. Ask me anything. Hello. I'm a first year haunted house scare actor. A few months ago I saw a Facebook ad that a local haunted attraction was holding auditions for scare actors. I had no acting experience whatsoever, but the ad said none was required, so I said F***ck it and auditioned with a friend. I was extremely nervous, but we both ended up getting the job and here I am. I have to remain anonymous for employment reasons, but I will say that the haunt I work at is a very high ranked haunt according to multiple sources, has been visited and positively reviewed by influential YouTubers and industry based media groups, and speaking with bias, freaking awesome. We are currently in the height of the haunt season. The crowds are the biggest they've been, and they'll be getting bigger the closer we get to Halloween. I love scaring the shit out of everyone, and I'd say I'm pretty damn good at it. So, ask me anything. Have you ever been attacked by spooking someone too hard? They dedicated quite some time during training on how to avoid being attacked, what to do if you sense that a guest is going to hit you, and what to do if a guest hits you. They did warn us that guests do occasionally get inappropriately aggressive for whatever reasons. Drunk, unstable, think they're tough. In my experience so far I have only been hit twice in the face, which were both accidents due to the guests reacting with their hands being thrown up in the air. It hurt, but it was an accident, so I was more satisfied with the scare than I was bothered. A few times I have sensed guests, mostly bored looking, tough acting teenage boys, or frat boys with girlfriends that I scared, give me dirty looks, and that try me stance, which with the actor training in mind, I would back off and retreat to my spot to avoid physical altercation. I think it's ridiculous that people actually hit scare actors, but testified by veteran actors, it does happen. What are the most stereotypical types of people responses you get from your scares? This is such a thing. White people, white moms will give out a genuine little shriek and throw their hands up in the air. White teenage girls will scream like you just murdered their entire family in front of them, or they'll roll their eyes in your face. White teenage boys will either tell you to do something, or scream a swear word. Black people, scream, 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 swear, scream, laugh, fall to the floor, run. These people know how to have fun in a haunt. Gay people, similar to black people, will just have a fun overall time. Lots of flamboyant screaming and waving arms, and no OMG OMG no OMG no. Drunks, you see a drunk coming up, you pop out, and they either stumble into you, a prop, or a wall. Annoying and not fun. Spanish people, they laugh hysterically. What was the funniest thing you've experienced so far? There's a lot. Most people would probably find all the times I made grown adults drop to the floor and cry the funniest, but personally I found a small comment from a mother of a young child the funniest so far. Her child was visibly terrified and crying, and all she said was it's make believe. It's not real. I had to go back to my hidey hole to break character and laugh. It really struck me funny, because I remember as a young child first starting to go through haunted houses that's exactly what my mom would tell me to help me not be scared. And here I am, doing the same thing to young children whose parents forced them through my terrifying little playground. What would you most like to tell us that no one ever asks about? That I tailor my efforts stereotypically, but I'm almost always right. To clarify, why would I use up all of my energy on some uninterested guy in his 40s with his hands in his pockets, when I can save it for the next group of screaming teenage girls? Screams are satisfying, so, if you really want a scary experience, walk through a haunt, like you're scared shitless and scream at every little noise and the actors will tear you up, or at least appear engaged and interested. There's nothing more annoying than wasting a good scare on someone that's just going to blink in your face. Ever felt bad about scaring somebody? Yes. I think this is something that not a lot of people think about. Most of the time after a good scare the guests laugh, but sometimes they'll give me a look that almost says why did you do that? And it's hard to not want to apologize. I'm sure everyone has fun regardless, but there's a certain look that guests sometimes give me that makes me feel a little bad. Think puppy eyes but frightened, vulnerable puppy eyes. But I don't feel bad for making kids cry. Have you ever been the one that got scared? LMAO yes. Actually this one guy broke off from his group while I was scaring them and went into my hidey hole. When I finished scaring them and went to go back to my spot, he jumped out at me. He got me good. I jumped and laughed and broke character for a second. What parts of your job you hate and what you love? Hate. It gets hot. I sweat a lot. I smell. People insult me. Love everything above I mentioned. It's a workout. I feel healthier. It's exercising made fun. Scaring people. Seeing them scream. Hearing them tell me you got me good. Hearing the comments, that guy needs a raise. Getting in character and staying in character. Being that character. It's stress relieving. It makes me feel like a kid again playing dress up and pretend. Going from my day job of customer service and smiling all day to my night job of telling people I want to rip their bones out one by one. Can you give some insight on the backstage works of working in a haunted house? Like getting into costume, clocking in and out, secret doors, etc. Yeah. So basically you clock in whatever time you get there. There's no strict schedule, as long as you're there early enough to get into costume and make-up before showtime. So you clock in, and you see your assigned position for the night. Most nights you have the same position, but sometimes due to callouts, or whatever they might change you up. So once you know your role you go to costuming, and they give you your costume, you get dressed in the locker room. Then you go get your make-up done. While the actors are getting ready, management is going through the haunt making sure everything is in place, checking for safety hazards, checking equipment, etc etc. Once everyone is in costume and make-up we all go to our rooms, the lights turn off, and we get one last walkthrough by management to make sure everything is okay. Management is hooked up to radio, so they communicate to security and ticketing staff. Once everything is ready, we open our doors to the victims. Throughout the night they will periodically halt the flow of guests to give management a chance to walk through and check up on everything. Us actors are not hooked up to radio, so it's hard to communicate with management while performing. You'd have to leave your room to go get a manager, so management tries to check up on us as often as they can. Sometimes they even walk through with groups. As for secret doors, almost every room is connected to backstage hallways where actors hide and pop out from. There's drop windows, secret doors, and emergency exits all connected to these hallways. It's why if you've ever been to a haunted house, you might notice that actors appear to move faster around the haunt than you do. It's because of these backstage hallways. As a middle-aged man, is it true that you'll try to scare the 16-year-old girl ahead of me instead of me? Anyone pee their pants? Is a haunted house something that anyone can enjoy, or are certain people incapable of getting into the right frame of mind? I walk through, and I'm like, oh, that's a cool decoration. Oh, there's a guy in a clown costume, not oh my god I'm so afraid I'm going to die at the hands of killer clown. Yeah, that's somewhat true, but not always the case. If you appear uninterested, I'm going to scare you with less effort than I would to someone who appears scared and engaged. It's not always, but most of the time it's the middle-aged men that look unfazed, so the most I'll do is probably just pop out at you. I'm not going to scream my lungs out on someone that looks bored, and I surely don't want to bother you if you're not into it. I haven't had any urine this year, but other actors have, and plenty of times in past years. We've had poo and vomit too. I think anyone that wants to enjoy a haunted house can. Like you said, some people are more entertained by the elaborate set design and special effects than they are scared by the actors. Some people are legitimately terrified of people in masks and make-up and run through screaming without taking much notice of the sets. How tall are you? Do you think being tall and large could benefit someone to help with the scare factor? I'm 6'7" 225 pounds and love the idea of putting on boots to make myself taller, dressing up in something super creepy, and scaring poor souls as they walk around a corner and run smack into a freakish tall thing, haha. I'm not tall at all. They do a great job at finding a role that suits your body type. Big people are probably the easiest to cast, lol. Big people make great clowns, cannibals, prisoners, hillbillies, werewolves. Thanks for watching. Drop a like, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. And yes, this is a free outro template, you plebs.